Okay, so good evening, first years, my group. I hope you're all well. This is a first for me. Well, it's actually my third one, third lecture, but it's the first one for ye. So I'm only going to stay on a few minutes now and I'll get to you again. But just wanted to kind of touch base and make sure that you're all okay and keeping safe and washing your hands and staying isolated. And God, yeah, crazy situation. I never thought we'd get to here, and it's all escalated so much. So I suppose everything is up in the air, and it's hard to know what's going to happen um, in the world and health wise, but not to mind then, I suppose, just what's going to happen with the rest of the year and the semester for ye guys. So I suppose it's our priority, number one, to get you all through that. So we have to kind of keep the show on the road, and that's going to be quite difficult, obviously, with the college being closed. So we've got to do a series of online videos and try and keep up with the Moodle and answer emails. So I have a group set up for your first year group, and you're able to then have a bit of interaction. And we could also look at Zoom as well and take maybe small groups. I think it can take four, and then look at that then as well to have a little bit more interaction on that. I would envisage as I go along that you send me work, and then I can critique it and then send it back, or else then also then I can show a series of the work then that you're doing on here, and you're all able to kind of get involved then as well, so you can just kind of see what your peers are doing, which is always very, very good. So I suppose looking at the concerns of the future, at the end of the day I have no idea where it's going to go. I would probably throw a guess and say that it would be very unlikely. Well, we definitely won't be back before Easter. And then we had 1 week of teaching after that. So, I can't see any more. So we'll still have to kind of go with the deadlines that we have, keep up with all the projects. I mean, he had a lot of the modules done. Thank God that it's continuous assessment, because you've hit all your points along the way, which is very, very important. So I'll have your 2D and your 3D corrected, so you'll have those, and then we're just looking at G then finishing the design module for us. Now I know you'll have other things for other lecturers, and hopefully they're keeping on top of that as well and they're sending your emails. So myself, Aidan and Tina will just be looking after your design module, which is the last module. So the dates will stay the same, and it's just, I suppose, a new way of learning now for everybody, a new way of teaching and a new way of learning. And I suppose it is, a different way. So it's going to be much harder for some of you to stay motivated, or not. Maybe it's the distraction of the other people in your class. Maybe it might help. I don't know, but it is going to make you're going to have to be a lot more self-directed and motivated. Okay, so the workspace is something very, very important. Okay, so you don't want to be getting set up and then it's time for dinner and then the whole thing has to come away again. So really what you want is a nice kind of workspace that you're able to leave a few bits on, and you're able to kind of come back to it, because you're more likely to come back to it then. And this module is quite a big module. I mean, you've got 9 hours there a week. Okay, so that's the minimum plus the 1 hour lecture, but I mean, you're still talking about 9 hours of work. Can you say that you're going to be looking at 9 hours for this module? Okay, so for you to fill the learning outcomes, you're going to have to get through that. Okay, and everything still applies, all right, because there was only a few weeks left in that semester anyway. So the time allocation, as I said there, and then the structure. Okay, so year structure, you're going to have to look at the design of the the project first of all, and you were looking at the object and designing the box for that, and then you were moving on from that, which you should have moved on from that now, and then moved on then into the fold and unfold. Okay, so something has to open, something has to close in some way. Now remember, we do not want to start reinventing the wheel every time. What you're looking at there is, you're looking at fold, unfold. We spent a long time looking at the nets, okay, and we spent a long time looking at the origami and all the different shapes and the patterns and that. So we do not want to reinvent the wheel. You need to show that you can consolidate the learning that we've done in all those previous modules. Okay, and that's very, very important, that you don't have to start kind of like, what am I going to do, and trying to come up with something. You just go back to what you've already done, okay, and then come up to them with some sort of avenue that you'd like to pursue, whether it's gaming or whether it's graphic design. Then that it has to, the project that has to be then directed in that way to the discipline that you want to go to. Okay, so the research is very important. The research in your notebook is very important. All of these things that you need to be keeping on, and if there's any questions, you can email me, and then we'll take it from there. Okay, but for now, I just want to kind of touch base, make sure that you're all keeping on top of things, and just making sure that you have a bit of a workspace and you're looking at the time allocation, and that you're not falling off the wagon completely. Okay, so we need to be thinking about what you can do, and what you can do when you can do it, and what time suits ye. Okay, so hopefully none of you